Hello all, this is Darren from Loneforge Blades. He's the owner and founder, and he's doing something really unique. We've been talking about this a long time, and he's going to tell you what he's about to create, and I'm very excited to be able to document this.
G'day folks, how's everybody doing? Welcome aboard. Today I want to take this here small canister, about 1 3/4 inch square. I put a stainless steel liner on the inside so that the material that we put inside the canister doesn't stick. A lot of guys will use liquid paper or whiteout by brand. I've never tried it. What I see when I watch these guys use it is a large mess on their bench. I find the stainless foil works very good, very neat. The only thing about it is the edges can get really sharp and they'll cut your fingers. You got to be careful doing that. What we do have now is a nice bag of Campo del Cielo Meteorite. Forgive me if I pronounce that wrong to anybody that actually speaks the proper languages. We're going to put this inside the canister. We're going to fill the canister to the top with 1084 high carbon steel powder. We'll weld a cap on the top and a handle. We'll put it to the forge. We'll get that guy up for a welding heat. We'll put it to the scoring dice in the press and see what we can come up with. Now what the actual plan is for the steel when we're done, I'm not positive yet. We're going to wait and see what it looks like on the surface, and I may end up maybe layering it with some other high carbon steel to give some nice dark contrast. Haven't really decided what the final product is going to be, but today the goal is get this canister built and get this meteorite welded up into a solid bar.
I'm excited about this, dude.
You're
making a star. Buddy.
Yeah, hopefully everything works. I've got everything clean, and we'll go from there. We'll see what happens.
I'll zoom in and show you what this meteorite looks like. It's pretty cool.
So there's some of that. We've got, I've probably got about halfway up that canister now. I'll give it a couple of taps. Now I'm going to start to adding the 1084 powder. And I'm just going to spoon that in. Once I get it full to the top, I'll make sure I can tap it down. A little vibration to get rid of all the voids. I don't want any air spaces in between the 1084 and the meteorite. Voids in a billet are rather undesirable.
So do you have to mix those up, or because you got the meteorite on the bottom and now this is going to be on the top, you're going to give it a shake to mix it all around or something?
Yeah, I'm just going to tap it with the hammer and see if we can get everything all settled down in and around it. So that any voids now are going to
fill up with your powder.
Fill up with the powder, exactly.
Okay. Gotcha.
Now I've got it up to about, I'd say about here now. A little bit of a blend. I'll add some more meteor.
Take a handful of that and I'll zoom right in so they can see that.
Okay. Oh, I want that back.
It's pretty precious stuff, man. That comes from space.
Yeah, that's not coming cheap. I don't know where.
Okay, we'll let that adjust. There you go. That's perfect.
How's that look, Wayne? Can you see that?
Yep, that's perfect.
Yeah, just a little wee tiny bit. So the goal is now, this is going to end up forging up shiny, and the 1084 powder is going to end up being the black element. So when I etch it in ferrochloride, we'll be able to see what kind of a pattern that creates on itself. And if the pattern's interesting enough, I may just leave it alone and then put it on top of a high carbon steel core, do what we call a sanmai. I'll just keep adding spices until it's full. So that 1084 powder that I'm putting on there is just probably the consistency of like a fine sugar, Wayne. And if I tap this down, it just continues all the way down through the can. I'm making sure I got no voids. Okay, now we got our can all full, fairly even. Make sure all the voids are filled because I've tapped it down real good and tight. We're going to weld this cap on top. I'm going to get it down inside the lid, of course. Weld it full circumferential around there, but I'm going to get a hole drilled in this. And I'm going to put a little cover of stainless steel over top of this powder, so that when I go into the forge, this has got some place to vent. But if I got this right up against here, that powder could vent out and then we get a void inside of our canister. So I'll just put a little tiny piece of stainless steel foil over top of that, kind of make it like a baffle so it doesn't all blow out through our vent hole. So
oh, cool.
We're going to drill a hole, get it welded on, and get a handle on it.
That was a tight fit, dude. And there's that hole you was talking about, eh?
Yep, and I put a little bit of this stainless steel heat treating foil. Anybody that's making canister damascus steel and has been using whiteout or liquid paper, for lack of better words, try this. This stuff is phenomenal. It works really good. It does not stick. When I'm all done, I'm just going to have to cut one corner of this, maybe cut two corners, and that canister will fall right off, and then I'll be left with only what's inside, no fighting. Trying to get rid of that.
Oh,
so now
we'll be able to see that, right? So we'll know.
We'll weld that around the outside, Wayne. We'll tack a handle on it so it can be handled in the forge. We'll put her to the press and give her a squeezing.
I'm excited, man.
Me too.
When you started, right?
Yep, there's the original size. We've reduced it to that. I'm pretty confident that's probably consolidated now, Wayne, but we'll square it up. Take it down probably about 1.25 inches. That way there, I know I've reduced it by 3/4 of an inch. It should give us enough confidence that we've got it all consolidated.
Dude, I can see right down in there. That's dropped probably about a 1/2 inch or 1/4 of an inch.
Yeah, you see this ugly gob on the end, Wayne? That's the cap that we had on there.
Yeah.
And I've squished that back forth so many times now that it's released itself from the weld. But I probably reduced that canister again a good 3/4 of an inch inside. I'll
Wow.
just take one cut down the center, see if we can knock that off of there. I might be able to knock it out the way it is, but it's a little hard to handle at this point. So I'll try. I'll cut it out. Alright, I've got a small little hammer here. Let's see if we can wedge this guy open. See what we get. Oh yeah. Give her a squeeze. It's not even squeezing the billet, so.
Yeah. Casing doesn't bend that easy, does it?
No, it's only 1/8 inch thick. I thought it would be a little more forgiving than that. Yeah, let's see if this guy will fall out for us. No, I gotta do a little bending yet. Okay. Oh, crack though. I see a little bits of cracking on the surface. We'll see what we can do to consolidate that a little better. Take it out and give it a couple of pressings. still attached on that end. That's what's going on. Still welded on the end.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'll grind that off. I'll pop that guy out of there.
Yeah, because all the way around, show that up here for a second. Just show like you can see all the way around. It's basically free.
Yeah, I wasn't very patient trying to take it apart, Wayne, because I get excited. Like a little kid when it comes to this stuff. But you can see it's separated the whole way around. Well, oh, can you see in there?
Yeah, it's separated all the way around.
Yeah, so I can see down through
It's
the
just
top.
welded on the back, you said.
Yeah,
still.
right where the tongs are grabbing.
Yeah,
Right where the tongs.
yeah.
Oh, I try to get this going the right way here. Right where the tongs are grabbing. I can't. Try to do that backwards and yeah, right where the tongs are at, right here. She's still welded.
You said come right out of there, no problem once you cut that off.
Yeah, you can see a bit of the green on there. There's the foil that's stuck itself to the canister, to the inside a little bit, but it didn't stick to the canister. But I do have some crumblies in that way, and I'm not sure how we're going to make out with having a successful billet, but we're going to try.
That looks pretty good, eh?
Yeah, most of the cracking that we saw on the surface went ground right out. Let's see what we get here on the edges. And again, as many things as I've read, as many other videos as I've watched, guys trying to work with this, I'm getting halfway what I expected for results. So I'm actually happier than I thought I was going to be. Yep.
Yeah, most of those cracks and stuff came right out, eh?
Yeah, you still see it. I still see the odd little bit on the edges here.
Yeah.
Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to weld a stick back on it.
Yep.
We'll take it to welding temp. I'll use a bit of flux, and I'll try squaring this down a little bit more, get it a little bit more even,
Yep.
a little more easy to work with. If I see some of these are starting to open up on me again, I'm going to stop, and I'm going to clean this surface right down to absolutely zero contamination on the surface. And I'll use my TIG, and I'll fusion weld those guys a little bit, see if I can't keep it from coming apart. I don't think you'll ever see the fusion weld in the billet because I'm not using any filler rod. Like these guys on this side, I don't know if you can see that or not, Wayne. But they worry me a little bit, these little guys here. It could tear.
Yeah.
Once they start to shear, it can tear a billet apart, some kind of slick.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm going to layer something there. I don't know what's going on with that. I'll grind that stuff away. I still look like I still got a bit of stainless foil on this side. Probably part of that canister. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, just another little bit of a canister that boiled down in there.
It's ready to throw back in now, eh?
It's ready to go. Yeah, I took the TIG welder, Wayne, and I fusion welded a few of those little cracks because they were bugging me. If we see more, then we'll stop and treat them as we go. I always get excited and go too far too quick. This is a lot of money in this little billet. Let's take our time and make sure we do it right, bud.
Now that's something I have not seen before. So what's the plan here with this?
I got a new toy, Wayne. This is that Meteorite billet. I've just hit it with the grinder, knock all the scale and crud off it. Now I'm going to go to my surface grinder attachment. It's got a magnetic chuck, and it's on a bearing slider.
Oh, cool.
This guy here will slide back and forth, bringing the steel through the wheel, making a nice even cutting, nice even surface on both sides, and then we can take a quick peek at the edge. Now what I will recommend is be very careful doing this. These magnets are very strong, and you don't want to get your finger.
Yeah, they'd pinch you pretty good, eh?
Yeah, you don't want to get it in there twice.
Yep.
I'm still healing from the last time.
Oh wow.
Yeah, no, it bites. It's not very forgiving.
Now this press here, this is new to you as well, because
Yeah,
we just used to beat the crap out of steel.
I'll tell you that
man.
standy uppy rig right there has sure made life for me a lot easier. I've got some, of course, as you know, issues with some discs in my neck, and forging all the time is not necessarily conducive to good health. So this has streamlined my work, has improved my patterns, and I'll tell you, man, it's a heck of a lot easier on the old body. So
You should grab those couple blades that you just did. We'll take a look at those real quick.
you want to have a look at those patterns.
Yeah, that is so sweet, man.
That's somewhere in the vicinity of 200 layers, 15 and 20, 1084, random, kind of a random raindrop pattern. I did the raindrop pattern, then I forged it to shape. So I wanted to try to see if I could skew some of that pattern, and it did skew quite nicely. But that guy's ready for somebody's kitchen. You want to let me know. It looks like it may need to lose some weight yet. I'm not positive on that, but the way it feels right now, I'm thinking that should probably go on a weight loss program. Bowie style, fighter, however you want to name it. Just a big old knife. 15 and 20 and 1084 again. In a teardrop. Oh no, sorry, that's a feather pattern. I get my patterns mixed up.
That is such a sweet looking knife. That is wicked.
And again, if you're interested in owning that knife, we'll do whatever you want. Custom for guard work, custom for handle, custom for leather work. All custom.
Sweet.
See that a little bit?
Yeah, it's got some cool design, man. It doesn't. Yeah, once you grind into it, it makes a huge difference, eh?
Oh, you see what's in the inside, because all the powder, any of the voids that were up against the sides of the canister, all that void has to fill with 1084 powder, which is all the dark stuff.
Yep.
And the real shiny bits are your little bits of meteorite. The more I grind it into that surface, the more of that 1084 will eliminate. And see more of the pattern. We'll have to cut it and stack it with some other high carbon steel. Continue consolidating that. Hey folks, welcome back. So you saw the last video that we did. We did a meteorite billet. It turned out about 3/8 of an inch thick by 1.5 inches wide, almost 8 inches long. So I took that, cleaned it up real good on all sides, cut it in 4 pieces and stacked it up. Okay, Wayne, we've taken that billet that we made yesterday, single bar, a meteorite Damascus with 1084 powder. I cut it in 4 equal slabs, stacked them up, circumferential welded them so I could do a dry weld, no flux. And I'm getting the odd spot. It's got a little bit of contamination here, a little bit of contamination there, but I picked the best side and surface ground it, so I got a nice clean surface when it comes time to do the re-weld.
So that there's the pattern thus far.
Hard light to see in there, is it, Wayne?
Ah, there we go.
So you can see the odd little dark spots here over at the end of my spoon. There's a couple here, a couple here, a little cavity right there, another little cavity over here. Like, these are little bits of impurities that are coming out of that meteorite that we cannot predict where it came from. It didn't come from anything that we did. It obviously came with the meteorite itself. So the more we cut and refine and keep stacking this, the more of these little inclusions we're going to get rid of. The more I do that, the more of this steel I lose. I don't want to lose any more of this steel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this side down real good. I'm not that concerned about those two little spots to make a sand mine, because in a sand mine I'm going to use a nice strong, as an example, a nice strong thick layer of 1084 that's going to go in between this and this. So this will be my cutting edge. I'm not concerned about the integrity of what's on the outside of the blade. It should be perfect, but it won't be perfect. This is not a perfect world, and we're doing the best we can with, of course, fragmented meteorite steel. When you start out with a material that looks like that, and we end up with something like this, it's been a miraculous change, and I'm not that concerned about a little wee bit of scale here and there. We've all got a blemish or two.
Yep.
But that's what we started out with, was material like that. So who knows what else is in there? Dirt, sand, rock, whatever.
Oh yeah, when that hit and just splintered.
Yeah, who knows what happens with a meteorite. I wasn't there.
Yep.
I wasn't there when that happened.
So these are the layers right here. So that is the meteorite.
Meteorite and 1084 powder. Straight up 1084, meteorite and 1084 powder.
So how's that going to go again?
So we're going to do a sandwich.
Yep.
Or sanmai. San or san is 3 in Japanese. So we got ich, ni, san. Sanmai.
Okay.
Which means sandwich, or 3 in Japanese.
There's the billet. It's all done. And we have about, what, 9 inches there?
Probably about 10, Wayne.
Yeah, about 10?
Good 1/4 inch thick. Started out with meteor fragments like this. 1084 like that in the core. So this is mixed with 1084 powder. 1084 solid bar for the cutting edge in the middle. Meteorite on the outside for beauty.
Nice.
Now we'll forge out a chef knife and we'll make space dinner.
So there it is. That really opens up when you start grinding, eh? So this here is the billet. Now you'll be watching them forge it into a blade. So very cool.